Today in higher learning, the launch of the new iPad has been the hot topic of discussion in recent weeks, with high-tech gurus weighing in on the pros and cons of the new device. Developers at Apple are hoping young people will become early adopters of this new technology and make the iPad as common as laptops on college campuses. Here to talk with us today about the iPad is Peter Kerwin from the Rhode Island Higher Education Assistance Authority. Thank you, Peter.
No problem.
All right, let's start off right off the bat. Is this going to be the next big, giant thing on campus?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to take a few months to see, but they had a really great piece in the Chronicle of Higher Education asking the big question that's on everybody's mind: will the iPad bring the internet to the beanbag chair? And I mean, if you think about it, the design of the iPad is set up to be used in a more relaxed, collaborative environment. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's that pad. It's not like you're sketching on a notebook, as opposed to sitting at a desk.
I just got an iPhone. It's addicting, and this
amazing.
Is a giant, more powerful version of that almost.
Exactly. And I mean, it's just meant to be used in a way where it's going to be picked up in different points in your living space, as opposed to just being at a select workspace. You can use it in a more relaxed way, as opposed to feeling like, okay, now I've got to sit at the computer and be prepared to get to work.
You're right. I never realized that when you open up your laptop, you're kind of
you're forced into a kind of a certain environment, a certain feeling, and I mean the design of this really changes that whole dynamic. So you've got a couple of schools now, Seton Hall and George Fox University, are going to be giving each of their incoming freshmen this fall, an iPad, because they want to see how is it going to be used. This can be a real game changer in terms of getting students to use.
Exactly. Are people concerned about what college students are going to be using it for?
Well, look, I mean, one of the things they asked, it's a nice idea and maybe it will change things, but what if they're just sitting in the beanbag and instead of sketching out the next great idea, they're just vegging out to their favorite episode of Jersey Shore?
Exactly.
So that is going to be a question. But in terms of the classroom environment, it changes things right off the bat, because it doesn't create that kind of mini wall between the student and the professor. You don't have the laptop screen blocking you off. You can't sit there and be online with your, chatting with friends during a lecture.
So do you feel this will be a big impact in the classroom?
I think it has the potential to do that, especially if some of these education-related apps really take off. There have been a couple of great ones that people have been talking a lot about. There's one called Elements, a visual exploration. And you're never going to hear these phrases used in the same sentence, but it makes the periodic table of the elements cool. I mean, it's got these great graphics. It's got all sorts of fantastic information. It's a really great app. And then there's Star Walk, which is a map, shows a map of the night sky. And then on top of that, you've got all these textbook publishers which are pushing, students to do stuff online, to read books online, and the iPad's great for that.
A lot of cool things on there. A lot of cool things on there. Thanks so much, Peter. For more information on the College Bond Fund, head over to the website foxprovidence.com.